Hey, welcome to another video lecture. And in this video lecture, now we are going to learn how to write fractions as decimals. So here we have some fractions, and the first one is 11 over 2. So first start from this one, that is A. This is 11 over 2. 11 over 2. Now, we have to write this fraction as decimals. In any such questions, always look at the denominator first and think of that is there anything, since this is a single digit number, right? The denominator is a single digit number. So when it is a single digit number, first think of the number 10. And when you think of this number 10, think that can we write an equivalent fraction of 11 over 2 in a way that the denominator becomes 10. First thing for 10, right? Yes, we can. If we multiply this 11, the numerator and the denominator by 5, then you get 55 over 10. 55 tenth, right? So this 11 times 5 and 2 times 5 give us an equivalent fraction whose denominator is 10. Now we can write this fraction into decimals very easily. How? Break this 55 as 50 plus 5 over 10, right? 50 plus 5 over 10. Now this can be written as 50 over 10 plus 5 over 10. If you are thinking how we have done this, then let me show it here. If you have this condition, let's take what? A over B plus, or let's say A over C plus B over C. This is one fraction, this is another fraction. We have to add these two fractions, and the denominator is the denominator is same, that is C. You know that whenever you add two fractions, we always take their LCM. So in this for the denominator. So in this case, if you try to take the LCM of C and C, since both the denominators are the same, therefore the LCM will obviously be C only. And this will be A plus B. In other terms, if A plus B over C is given to you, you can write it in the form of this, right? That's what we have done here, according to this, what we discussed. Now, 50 over 10 means what? This will be 5 plus 5 over 10. Now, clearly, this can be written as 5 over 10. 5 whole number and 5 over 10. This is actually a mixed fraction representation. Now, 5 over 10 means what? 5 over 10 is actually 0.5. What it tells? 5 tenth. 5 tenth means what? You have 5 at the 10th place and you don't have any ones, right? So this is 0.5. So this will become what? 5.5. Why? This 5 tells you the whole number, that is 5 here. 5 tenth tells you that this is actually at the 10th space we have 5. So this is 0.5, so this will become 5.5. Let's do for X is gone. Let's do for this one, for the B. We have 11 over 5. This is a single digit number, right? Since it is a single digit number, first thing for 10. Can we write an equivalent fraction of 11 over 5 in a way that its denominator becomes what? 10. Yes, we can. If we multiply the numerator and denominator with 2, then this will be 22 over 10. Now this is 22 over 10. This is an equivalent fraction of 11 over 5 having denominator as 10. Now we can very simply write this as decimals. How? This can be written as 20 plus 2 over 10 This will be 20 over 10 plus 2 over 10. This will be 20 over 10 will become what? 2 plus 2 over 10. This can be written as mixed fraction, that is 2 whole number and 2 over 10. This is actually a mixed fraction, that is telling you that you have a 2 whole of something and 2/10 of something. 2/10 means what? 2/10 means that at the 10th place you have actually 2. So it is 0.2. 2/10 means at the 10th place you have 2 only and nothing else. So 0.2. This can be therefore written as 2.2. This 2 tells you that you have 2 complete whole object, that is 2 ones, and 2 over 10 tells you 0.2. So this is 2.2. This C1, that is 1 over 2. 1 over 2. Look at the denominator. It is one digit number. Think of 10. Can we write an equivalent fraction of 1 over 2 in a way that the denominator becomes 10? Yes. If you multiply the numerator and denominator by 5, then you will get 5 over 10. This 5 over 10 is an equivalent fraction of what? Of 1 over 2, where the denominator becomes 10. Now this can be easily written in the terms of decimal representation. How? 5/10 tells you what? That at the 10th place you have 5 and nothing else, right? No hundreds, no ones and all. So at the 10th place if you have 5, that means that it can be written as 0.5. At the 10th place we have 5. So this is 0.5. Let's move to another one. Now we have these three mixed fractions. First, let's take this one. That is 4, 1 over 2. First, write it in the form of improper fraction. Since it is a mixed fraction, we can write it in an improper fraction, that is 4 times 2 plus 1 over 2. Remember this? This is the way to write in a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. This will be 8 plus 1 over 2 and it becomes 9 over 2. Now, since it is a one digit number, think of 10. And when you think of 10, think of this fraction as write an equivalent fraction of this fraction in a way that the denominator becomes 10. Is there any way? Yes. If you multiply the numerator and the denominator by 5, you'll get 45 over 10, that is 45/10. This is an equivalent fraction of 9 over 2 having its denominator as 10. Now this can be easily written in terms of decimals, that is 40 plus 5 and this is 10. This is 40 over 10 plus 5 over 10 and this is 4 plus 5 over 10. Now this is 4 plus 5 over 10 and this can be written as a mixed fraction, that is 4, 5 over 10. This 4 tells you that 4 whole number, that is you have something in count of 4 whole objects and then 5/10 of that object. 5/10 means what? 5/10 means that at the 10th place you have 5. So how you'll write this? If you are told that at the 10th place you have only 5 and nothing else, no ones, no tens and all, how you'll write it? That will be 0.5, right? After decimal point comes the 10th place and at the 10th place we have 5. So this is 0.5. Therefore this will be written as 4.5. Now let's do for this one. So this is 4, 2 over 10. Now you can clearly see that the denominator of 2 over 10, it is a mixed fraction where 4 tells you a whole object, that is you have 4 different, total number 4 objects and this is 2 over 10. Okay, this 2 over 10 tells you what? That this is at the 10th place you have 2 and 2 over 10 can be written as what? 0.2. 2/10 tells you what? At the 10th place you have 2 This is 0.2. Therefore, this can be written as 4.2. Okay. Now let's come for the third one. Let's look for this one. So you have 3 and 3 over 5. 3 over 5 is a mixed fraction where 3 is a whole number and 3 over 5 is a fraction. Write it in an improper fraction though. So this will be 3 times 5 plus 3 over 5. And this will be 15 plus 3 over 5. This will be 18 over 5. This is 18 over 5. 5 is a single digit number. Think of 10. Can we write this fraction in an equivalent fraction such that the denominator becomes 10? Yes, we can. If we multiply the numerator and denominator by 2, this becomes 36 over 10. This 36 over 10 means what? This can be written as 30 plus 6 over 10, and this will be 30 over 10 plus 6 over 10. This means what? 3 plus 6 over 10. This can be written as 6 over 10 in a mixed fraction, right? 3 tells you that there are 3 total objects, 3 whole numbers, right? And then 6 over 10. 6 over 10 tells you that at the 10th place you have 6. Therefore, 6 over 10 will be 0.6. So this fraction becomes 3, that is whole number 3, total 3 objects, 0.6, 6/10 of that object, 3.6. Let's move to this one. 88 over 10. So this is 88 over 10. Its denominator is already in 10. So simply write it as 80 plus 8 over 10. This becomes what? 80 over 10 plus 8 over 10. This will be what? 8 plus 8 over 10. This becomes we can write this in as a mixed fraction. So this is 8 whole number and 8 over 10. Now 8 over 10 tells you what? 8 over 10 tells you that at the 10th place you have 8. Therefore 8 over 10 will be what? 0.8. 8 is whole number, that is total 8 objects. So this will be total 8 objects and then 8/10 of that object, that is 8.8. 8 over 10 tells you that. Let's look for this one, that is 3 over 4. It is a single digit number, one digit number. Think of 10. Can we write an equivalent fraction of 3 over 4 in a way that the denominator becomes 10? No way, because 4 is not a factor of 10, so we cannot write it in terms of 10. Then think of 100. Can we write an equivalent fraction of 3 over 4 in a way that the denominator becomes 100? Yes, we can. If we multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 25, then this becomes what? 75. This will be what? 100. So 75 over 100. Now we can easily write it in terms of decimals. How? 75 over 100 tells you what? That it tells you that 75 hundredth, right? And this can be written as 0.75. This can be written as 0.75. 75 over 100 tells you that at the 100th place you have 5 and at the 10th place you have 7. 75 over 100 is 0.75. This is 7 over 1000. Now, 7 over 1000, how can we write it in a decimal terms? 7 over 1000 tells you that at the thousandth place, you have 7 and nothing else, no hundreds, no tens. Since it's talking for the hundredth place, you'll have to think of, since it is 7 over 100 thousands, what will be at the hundreds? Of course 0. What will be at the tenths? Of course 0. Therefore this number will become 0.007.